Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to first grade ELA lesson of the day. I'm Mrs. Johnson, and today we are going to learn so many new things, and I'm so excited to learn with you. So let's get started. First, I want to show you what our agenda is for today so we know what we're getting ourselves into. Let me pull that up real quick. And here we go. Okay. So first things first, we are going to, loading still. We're going to do our flip book review, but instead of doing a flip book like we usually do, I'm going to write them on the whiteboard you see behind me. Then we're going to learn about some new sister sounds. Then we're also going to do the sound and the spelling, which is, we're going to go over that a little bit, but it's how it sounds and how it's spelled. Then we're going to do tricky words. We're going to learn some new ones today. And then we're going to do some reviewing the spellings. And then we're going to go to our checklist and see if we did everything. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, we are going to do flip book review. Let me get my marker. Okay. So first, we're going to go over the sound and letter. So this sound is for our P. But remember, these are double letters. So double letters sound like a regular P, but they're spelled with two. So our first word is napping. Napping, like I'm gonna go take a nap. My sister's napping on the couch. So napping is spelled with two P's because it has that P sound. So it will be spelled like N-A-P-P-I-N-G. Napping. But when we say it, it sounds like one P, right? Napping. Because you're not saying a, p, in, napping. We're saying it with only one P as the sound. Okay, now let's go to our next sound. I know it's really tricky with our double letters, but you guys are doing so well already. With all the practice from Mrs. Sophia and with me, Mrs. Johnson, you guys are going to be so ready for your next grade. All right, so here's our next one. It's a double B's for our sound B. So we have our double B's, which make the sound B. Okay, so here's our word, rubbing. Rubbing. So there's not two B's like rub-b-b-ing. There's only one B sound, but the way it's spelled, ing, has two B's. Okay, and so our two B's make the sound B instead of b-b. All right, very good. Okay, now we're gonna go over our next one. Which is our T sound. That's our T, but the sound and how it's spelled is T with two T's. Kind of looks like an H there. Let me fix that. Okay, that's better. Oh, it still looks like an H. Oh, well, that's two T's. And so our word is sitting. Sitting. So we spell it S-I-T-T-I-N-G. So there's two T's for that T sound. Okay. All right, let's go to our next one. So our next one, our word is add. Add. So what letter sound do you think is for add at the end? D, that's right, but it has 2 D's for our sound D. Okay, so it's spelled A-D-D. But we have 2 D's for our 1 D sound, add. Very good, you guys knew that one. You guys are rocking it. Okay, so our next word is hiccup. Hiccup, hiccup. What double letter sound do you think that is? This one's a little tricky. So our sound in hiccup is the sound that K makes, right? But it's not double K, it's actually double C. So we have k, k. The double C's make the k, k sound in hiccup, which is our K sound, right? Hiccup. That one's a little tricky too, but just think of the word hiccup, and it sounds like k, hic, up, but it's 2 C's. All right. Okay. And our last one we're going to do today is the word egg. Egg. G. So what letter am I going to write for egg? G. 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 Very good. So we actually have our double G's for our sound G. So when we write the word egg, there's 2 G's for the sound G. Egg. So you probably would think egg was spelled, if you sounded it out, egg, E-G. But that's not how it's spelled properly. It's actually spelled E-G-G for egg, for that G sound. All right? All right. Now we're getting into our sister sounds. Okay, so our sister sounds for today. First, I kind of want to go over why we call sounds sister sounds. Why are they called sister sounds? They're called sister sounds because they sound very much alike, like sisters. So we have 2 letters today that are S. So we have S and Z. These get confused as sister sounds all the time because they sound so much alike. But both of these consonant sounds are made up by positioning the tongue close to the ridge behind our upper teeth and pushing air out of our mouth. But there is a difference. So let's place our fingers over our ears and our palms on our cheeks like this, or you can place your fingers on your throat. This one sounds good too. So you're gonna say S and Z. Z, 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 S, S, S. So see the difference between S, S, S. You don't feel any vibration in your throat, right? Well, you shouldn't. For S, But for our Z sound, z, 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 you feel that vibration, right? Z, z, z. That Z, z, z sound is buzzier, as we'd say, than our S sound. It makes our mouths vibrate, like we talked about. So we're going to say two words. One word will begin with the S sound, and one word will begin with the buzzy Z sound. So listen carefully and place your fingers on your throat, or you can cover your ears and repeat both of the words, okay? So the first pair of words is sip and zip. So let's say the first one, sip, sip. Now our second word is zip, zip. Which word between zip and sip begins with the buzzy sound z, z? That's right, zip, like zipper on your clothes. So the spelling alternatives for S and for Z is also used in some other common words. So we are going to write them on the board, and you're going to tell me what they sound like, okay? So the following words are okay. So I just had a little brain tickle. I'm so sorry. Okay. So is. Do you think is has the sound z or s, s? Is. That's right. It sounds like it goes in the category Z, is, but it's spelled with an S. So it's actually our S category. Then we have the word has. Has. Where do you think has goes on our board? Has. You think it goes with Z? Let's see. H-A-S. So that is the same as is. It goes over to our S sound because it has an S at the end. Has. Now what about his? His. Where do you think his goes? With our S or with our Z? His. Think it goes with our Z? Let's spell it out. His. H-I-S. His. So his also goes with our S sound. His. Okay, so now here's our last word that can be associated. As. As. Where do you think as falls? With our S or with our Z? Has. As. It does sound like our, oh, what am I doing? I'm spelling that wrong. As is spelled A-S, as. So it does sound like our Z, but again, it's spelled with an S. That's why they're called tricky sisters. Okay? Now, we are going to do our last sound. So you're going to tell me which one it goes under. Okay? And I'll say it out for you. You say it with me, and then we'll decide which one it goes under, S or Z. Okay, so our last sound, bus. You can put your fingers over your throat if you want. Bus. Which one? Is that S or Z? Bus. That's right. Bus is under our letter S because it has the S. Bus. Now what about buzz? Buzz. Yes, very good, under our Z. Buzz, because it has our Z's. Very good. Now what about hiss? Hiss. Is that under Z or S? Hiss. Very good, it's under S. Hiss. Okay, now here's another one. His. His. We just said this one. Is it a Z or an S? His. That's right, it's tricky. It's under S. His has an S for that Z sound. His. Very good. Okay, here's our next one. Peace. 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 Is that a Z sound or an S sound? That's right, it's an S sound. So this is where it gets even more tricky because peace doesn't have an S or a Z at all. What? But this little number sounds like our S sound. Peace comes from our C. That's even more tricky. Now here's another one. Peas. Peas. Which does that go under? S or Z, you think? Peas. Like green peas. Peas. Under Z, that's right. But again, the spelling has no Z or S at all. So peas, peas, these sounds sound like a Z, but they're not spelled with a Z. Okay, here's our next one. Lice. Lice. Where do you think lice goes under? Z or S? Lice. S, that's right. But again, lice is not spelled with an S. It's spelled with that C, but it's our S sound. Very good. Now what about lies? Lies. Lies is under S, or Z, that's right. Lies. But again, this ending sound isn't spelled with a Z at all, but it sounds just like our Z right here. Okay, here's our next one. Pace. Pace. Like you go at your own pace. Is that S or Z? Pace. Very good, it's S. But again, the ending sound, pace, is with our C, but it actually is our S sound. Okay, what about pays? Pays. Like your mom pays for candy. That's right, it's our Z, but again, pays, our S sound, this is the tricky part. Our S is spelled right, but it sounds like our Z, pays. So we actually put it in this category, pays. Okay, and we have one more. Niece. Niece. Like I have a 3-year-old niece from my aunt, from my sister. Niece. That's right, it goes under S, niece. N-I-E-C-E, niece. Oh no, we have this tricky part again. So our C is our S sound, niece. Okay, how about knees? Knees. Where would that go under? Knees. Z, that's right. And it's spelled K-N-E-E-S. Oh no, again, we have our S sound that sounds like a Z. Knees. So actually, knees goes over here. Knees. All right, those sister sounds were very tricky. I don't know about you, but that made my head hurt a little bit. So let's take a brief moment to process that, pause, and we'll come back and do our spelling sounds. Okay, hopefully you've taken a good, nice break from that, because that made my brain hurt a little bit as well. So what we're going to do now is our sound and the spelling. So I'm going to write a word, and I want you to say it out loud. What word is this? You can take a moment. Okay, let's say it together. Cats. Cats. What sound do you hear at the end of this word? Cats. The S, we hear our S sound. That's right. So the S at the end of cats shows that we are talking about more than one cat. Because if you're talking about one cat, you just say cat. But when you're saying a bunch of cats, like 2 or more, you'd spell it cats. So the S is a plural marker. Not this kind of marker, but a mark that says there's more than one cat. Okay? Now I want you to say this word. You can take a moment and then I want you to tell me what it is. Okay, let's say it together. Dogs. Dogs. What sound do you hear at the end of this word? Dogs. Dogs. So, the letter S at the beginning of a word is almost always pronounced S. However, in some other places, especially at the end of a word, the letter S is often pronounced Z, Z, Z. So now we have another word I want you to tell me. Okay? Plants. Plants. What sound do you hear at the end of this word? Plants. We hear that S sound, right? Plants. And luckily, it's spelled with an S. But remember, our dogs is also spelled with an S, but it sounds like our Z sound. Okay, so we're going to do some words together, and we're going to do the same thing. You're going to tell me what letter you hear at the end, okay? Or what sound, and then we'll figure out which letter together it is, okay? All right. This one is pots. 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 What sound do we hear there? Pots. Very good. It's our S sound. Pots. That was easy, right? Now let's do this one. Cups. Cups. What sound do we hear at the end? Cups. Our S sound, that's right. These are easy peasy. Okay, now we have this word. Ponds. Ponds. What sound do we hear? Do we hear a S or a Z sound? Ponds. That's right, we hear that Z sound for our S sound. Ponds. Okay, let's try this one. Whoops. Ands. Ands. Pans. What sound do we hear at the end? Is it an S sound or a Z sound? Pans. That's right. You guys are nailing it. It's a Z sound. Pans. Okay, we have two more. Let's try this one. Ats. Mats. Is that an S or a Z sound? Mats. Very good. It's our S sound. Mats. Okay, here's the last one. This word is mugs. Mugs. Do we have a Z or an S sound for mugs? That's right, we have a Z sound. Very good. You guys are doing so well. Okay, now we are moving on to, I'm sure, everyone's favorite, tricky words. Have you guys been practicing your tricky words at home? Yeah? Okay, I believe you. We're going to practice some more. These may be new to you, or you may have heard them before, but we're going to go over them together, okay? All right. So, let's pronounce this word. So, you might say, as, was. But that's actually not how it's pronounced. It's pronounced was, was. Like, I was happy or I was sad. Was is spelled W-A-S, but it sounds like was, W-U-Z. So this W is pronounced exactly how you would expect it to be. But the other letters are the tricky part of the word. Our A and our Z, because was, our S sounds like a Z, and our A sounds like a U. So this is why it's really tricky, but when you're reading was, you have to remember to pronounce the letter A as a U and the letter S as a Z, okay? And when you're writing, you have to remember to spell the U sound, the as the letter A, and the Z sound, the was, with the letter S. Okay? All right. Now we're going to move on to another word. Okay. This word, I want you to say by blending. Okay? So, let's say, you might say it, when. It's actually pronounced like W-E-N. So when you sound that out, it'd be N. When. When. Like, when did you get here? Or when did you get your baby teeth? So when we write the word when, the tricky part of the word is the WH. So W is pronounced just how you'd expect it. But this H is non-existent because when you put W and H together, the w sound is exactly how it should be. And we don't need to write our H. And so those are the two tricky parts of it. The N and the E are exactly how you would expect, right? So when we're reading when, we have to remember to pronounce the letters W and H as W. And when you're writing when, you have to remember to spell the W sound with the letters W and H. Okay? I know that's so tricky, but you guys are doing awesome, and I have so much confidence that you will nail these with practice, okay? So if you want to take a minute to write down when and was, you can, because we're going to move on to our next one, so then you can practice those at home, okay? When and was. Here, I'll write them up here. Was and when. So you can practice these at home, okay? Okay, so here's another word. This is pronounced I. Like, why did you say that? Or why are we learning this? So the letters W and H are the tricky part of the word, because the Y, oh, I'm sorry, I messed that up. The W and H are exactly how you would think, except just like in when, they're spelled W for the sound, for the letters W and H. But another tricky part of the word is our Y, because our Y is actually sounds like the letters I and E together. So when you're reading it, it sounds like Y. But when you're spelling it, we have to spell it W-H-Y. Okay, so here's Y. So here's the words we learned that are our tricky words. They're spelled right here for you. And with some practice, you'll be able to do amazing things with it, okay? Whoops, computer fell. Okay. Now we are going to review some spellings, but I'm going to erase this. You can take a minute to pause, because if you need to see what words we worked with today, here they are, and take a minute and pause, and we'll be right back. Okay, hopefully you've taken a nice little break. Now we are going to do a reviewing of the spelling for the K sound. K sound, okay? So we have a few sounds that this could be spelled like. We have up here our C for K. Then over here we have the K sound, or the K spelling for K. Then over here we have CK for K. Okay? So I want you to tell me what or spelling you think this sound goes under. So I'm going to say a word, and I want you to tell me if it's spelled with a K, a C, or a CK. Okay? So here's our first word. Clap. Like clap your hands. Do you think that's a C, a K, or a CK? Clap. You think it's a K? It's not. It's actually a C. C-L-A-P. Clap. That's a little tricky. Let's try this one. Kit. Kit. Like you have a sewing kit in your drawer. Do you think that's a C, a K, or a CK sound? Kit. That's right. It's our K sound. K-I-T. Kit. Very good. Okay, now this sound is at the end of our word. So you're going to identify what sound, how it's spelled at the end of a word, okay? So the word is duck. Duck. Is it a C, a K, or a CK for duck? That's right, it's our CK. D-U-C-K. Duck. Okay, here's another one. Kids. Kids. Is kids spelled with CK, C, or K? Kids. Very good. It is spelled with a K. Kids. Kids. Okay, what about this one? This is at the end of the word. Lick. Like I licked the lollipop. Lick. You guys are rock stars. That's right. It's CK. L-I-C-K. Lick. Very good. Okay, here's our next one. Cup. Cup. Where do you think cup goes? With our C, our CK, or our K? Cup. That's right, it's with our C. Cup. Very good. Okay, we're only going to do 3 more, okay? So here's our next one. Can. Can, like a soda can. Or a tin can. Very good, it's with our C. C-A-N. Can. Or I can do it. Okay, here's our next one. Skip. Skip. Is that middle sound the k, skip? A CK, a K, or a C? Skip. That's right, it's a K. S-K-I-P. Skip. Okay, here's our last one. Pick. Pick. Is that a CK, a K, or a C sound? Pick. That's right. It's our CK. P-I-C-K. Pick. I pick you to be my student. Very good. Okay. We have come to the end of our lesson today, boys and girls. I am so thankful that you guys have been here with me today, and I hope I helped you learn some new tricky words, some new spellings, all of that I hope helped you. And I'm going to share our checklist so we can go over everything we did. So we did our flipbook review, check. We did our sister sounds. What sister sounds did we do today? That's right, our S and our Z sound. Very good. And our sound and spelling. Yep, we did our sound and spelling. Did we do tricky words? We sure did, and it was was, when, and why. Very good. And did we do reviewing the spelling of that K sound? We did, because here they are. Very good. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you next time. Have a wonderful day, boys and girls. I'll see you next time. Bye.